Alrighty, guys, welcome to tonight's charting session. Hopefully everybody is doing well and has enjoyed their weekend. Hopefully everyone is ready to get started for the new week. So let's kind of jump in tonight. We're going to be talking about kind of where we are in the charts, what can we expect to see this week, get us ready for the next week. We'll talk a little bit about news, what we can expect. We're going into December, so we'll talk a little bit about that as well. I believe next week should be NFP. So we'll talk about that, and then any trades you guys took as well this week that we can maybe take a look at that you guys wanted me to review, we can also look at those as well. So kind of first thing I want to do here is just do, again, what we like to do on Sundays is just start out by doing a top-down analysis, talking about where we are, what we expect to see. So going into next week, I still have the same draw that we have talked about before, which was the weekly fair value gap. Right now, price has been super slow, sort of stuck in this range. The weekly candle starting to form a doji. We came up, took that high, but now I want to start to see us start to reverse back down and tap into the weekly imbalance. Again, I don't want to see us continue to push higher up into this buy side. For me, it makes more sense for us to come back down to this imbalance, rebalance to price in this bigger time frame fair value gap. And then we also have a daily fair value gap here, but I think I'm very confident in us at least going to the weekly, and that's what I would want to see. And then on the daily as well, we have this daily fair value gap, which is here, and then also this 4-hour fair value gap here as well. So I would definitely want to see us come back to this area before going back higher. So something that I'm expecting to see going into this week would be something like this. I want to see us continue to hold up here and start to see delivery sell back off into this bigger time frame fair value gap. And from here, I'll be pretty bullish. So I'm not expecting price to really sell off that much. And the reason why I say that is because right now, when price starts to slow down like it has been this last 2 weeks when we're up in this range, when we like to retrace price, notice that it's a very hesitant market to sell back off into this imbalance, right? So a lot of the times when we come back into this imbalance, I don't really expect us to go much lower than here before coming to take that external draw. I think we're super bullish right now. Markets are super bullish. So I'm expecting us to hold this imbalance, get displacement back up, and then possibly see later, probably next week. I mean, maybe end of this week, early next week, sometime next week. If we do sell back off to this, I'm going to be watching to see how price starts to react after that, right? Because we have an idea of where price wants to go. I don't know if we're going to hold here, but I'm looking to see structure start to form from this area once we come back down to this. So going into tomorrow, I'm looking to see bearish structure. I want to see if we are going to either respect, disrespect bullish and bearish imbalances. Right now on a 4-hour, we're in this 4-hour fair value gap. We have this 1-hour fair value gap here as well. I would like to see us start to roll back over down. Do keep in mind as well, this range is very, very trappy. Trading here, it's very hard to find the draw. It's not an efficient market. We will come down, get super close to taking lows, and then immediately reverse, take a high, go higher than dump, right? It's very hard to recognize what market wants to do here. So I am going to continue to trade low size in this range. Right here, when we are stuck in a range like this on a bigger time frame, a lot of the times it is just going to whip back and forth. Do not dig a hole for yourself trading this range. The opportunity will come when we rebalance price, right? The good opportunity will come when we rebalance price. Again, this is exactly what I'm expecting to see. I want this to become a power of 3 and have the manipulation to the downside. So this entire consolidation that we've been having, I want to see this continue to trade. Again, we're not looking to trade the consolidation. We're looking to trade consolidation like on smaller time frames, lower size. We can get some, scalps and trades like that. But the real opportunity is after the manipulation, right? I'm looking to see the manipulation and catch the distribution. We don't want to trade here. We want to trade here and here, right? So going into, again, this week, I'm expecting this week to set up for future weeks, possibly near the end of December, because we do have a lot of time. Keep in mind, this range is a big time frame range. I mean, we've been here this is on a 4-hour and a 1-hour. We've been in this range for how long now? 20 days. So over 2 weeks we've been in this range. So I'm looking to see us start to sell back off in the Monday, Tuesday, early this week, and then see us come manipulate these lows before heading back higher. So going into tomorrow, zooming in a little bit more, focusing on kind of where we are right now. If we continue to break up through this imbalance, if we continue to displace higher, which is this 1-hour imbalance, I'll expect price to go back to these equal highs. And this is kind of the buy side that I'm going to be watching going into tomorrow. So if we break through this, I'm very confident that we would go take these equal highs, possibly come back to this imbalance right here. So this is going to be something that I'm watching, something that I kind of expect just by looking at this chart is if we do fail to sell back off here, I expect this to come up higher, possibly as an inverse, have a push up to take these equal highs and then sell back off in this range is what I would really expect to see going into tomorrow. We'll see what happens in the overnight session and in London as well. But this is basically what I would want to see going into tomorrow if we do end up breaking through that imbalance or not. But yeah, any questions on that so far? Oh yeah, we can take a look at ES as well. ES is going to be very similar. ES is a lot more bullish, and we're starting to get more expansion move to the upside. So the reason why I think we still are going to come back lower before going higher is because since ES is so bullish, a lot of the times NQ is still holding itself back. So we're starting to slowly see more upside. ES is super bullish. I wouldn't really look to possibly take shorts on ES unless we get a lot more move, right? Keep in mind, on the 4 hour, there has been no change in the state of delivery. There's been no market structure shift here. If we're looking at a bigger time frame, notice every single low that we have gone back to and we've rebalanced price, there has been no displacement through any of these lows, right? And on a bigger time frame like the 4 hour, we need to see a strong change in the state of delivery for us to expect to go back lower. So on ES, there has been no displacement. So we're super bullish still on ES. On NQ, on the other hand, though, we have started to see that we have all these stacked lows where we've displaced through, now coming back to this imbalance. So that's what I'm saying. If we end up breaking past this, I'll expect to at least go back to these relative equal lows up here, and then possibly even see more higher from there. But what I do want to see is I eventually want to see us roll back over to this weekly imbalance before going higher, because the opportunity that will come here is going to be a lot better than if we were to trade here. Does that make sense? SMT, do we have a where at? Oh, bigger time frame, huh? Because ES took let me pull up ES on the side. Yeah. 4 hour here. Let me clean this up actually. Big SMT on the 4 hour as well. So I would like to see this hold and start to sell back off. How weight? I'm gonna get just said how much weight do you put on the monthly fair value gap we're currently stuck in? Let me see. The monthly fair value gap. Yes. Okay. I don't think this monthly fair value gap holds. I don't. And the reason I think so is because price has already rebalanced all the way back down here. I don't think that this is like a bear. I don't think we somehow flip here and sell. I think we go see new highs. It's just, as much as I would honestly like to see that happen, because again, the opportunity would be more, at least for us. We've already came back, rebalanced here, holding and super bullish. Like this whole point in time, the draw is easily going to come back to this high. So I don't expect us to sell back off until we take that high. We do have a monthly fair value gap here that might open. So this might open depending on if we come back and refill that imbalance by the time we get to January. So I'm not sure if that'll hold or not, but right now I don't expect this monthly fair value gap to hold, to be honest. I expect us to most likely break through it. And again, the more we come back to an imbalance, the weaker it gets. Justin, in a market maker model, if price is near the draw in our time, should I look to attack the draw, or we should wait price to come in premium discount to attack it? Wait, in a market maker model, if price is near the draw in our time. Okay, so again, you still need a model. So depending on what time frame you're in, if you're looking at like, let's say a 15-minute market maker model. So like if I was going to pull up this, right? Let's say this is what we're looking at. But keep in mind, this is a 15-minute. So we have some sort of, the 15-minute in this idea would be considered our bigger time frame. So let's say this is what we're looking at, right? Try to zoom in here. Let's say this is now acting as buy side. Market maker sell model has now completed. Sell side has been taken down here. And we're now bullish, expecting the draw on liquidity to be here on a 15-minute time frame. So even if we are here, so I'm guessing this is your question. If we're already super close to taking the draw, the only way that I am allowing myself to take some sort of trade here is if I have my model, which is I need to pull back to some sort of imbalance, bigger time frame, so 15-minute. I want to see a 15-minute imbalance, something like this, and I want to see us pull back into it. And then that's when I go down to a smaller time frame and I look for my model. I'm looking for either consolidation here and then get displacement. Once that happens, I take any fair value gap pullback. I don't care if it's in discount or premium. And then from there, I will take a long, and my stop will be at whatever the recent low is, because that's the rebalance I wanted to see. If I take a long up here, my chances of us going straight to the draw is so much lower, right? If I have the discipline and the patience to wait for the pullback and wait for the imbalance to get rebalanced to, and then wait for the displacement, the probability of that is going to is so much higher. So again, our goal here is building good habits. It doesn't matter if you take a trade all the way up here and this ends up pumping to this high, and then you're like, oh, let's go. I won this trade. You're still chasing that trade. You didn't take that trade off of what you knew you needed to see, right? Because a lot of times, if you're going to end up chasing along up here, you're going to have to risk so much more. You're going to have to put your stop all the way down here, and it's just going to skew the risk. It's not worth doing that, right? We're focused on building those good habits and taking good setups. So unless you get that model when we're all the way up here, before this high is taken, I have to see this internal model, which is come back to a bigger time frame, zoom in, and then look for the displacement from there to actually take a long. Does that make sense? So it doesn't matter how close we are to this. I still need to see some sort of model for it. The weekly volume imbalance is not invalidated yet. Actually, wait, let me make sure I'm thinking of the same one. The weekly volume imbalance. Weekly volume imbalance. I'm not sure I see which one you're saying. Do you always look for fair value gaps in discount premium of the range before an entry, or is it an added confluence? So what I like to do is my bigger time frame, I want to see us be in discount or premium, depending if I'm long or short, right? I want to see us go back to equilibrium of the range. From there, I don't care if I zoom into a smaller time frame. I don't care what fair value gap I take, because a lot of the times once we rebalance, it's going to go quick. So on a bigger time frame, once we rebalance price already back to equilibrium or discount or premium, depending if we're long or short, from there, once we get the displacement higher or lower, and I've seen what I've needed to see on a bigger time frame, I don't look for a discount or premium fair value gap on a smaller time frame. I don't need it. I just adjust my risk. After we take liquidity, do we need price to be at a higher time frame PD array for it to be tradable, or just wait for price to displace back in the range and just wait for market structure shift? The market will tell you a lot of the times if you will be looking for something that hasn't happened yet. So I see a lot of the problems I see with you guys or a lot of people early in their journey with ICT is they think that something has happened, like, like I get so many questions like, Justin, is this the market structure shift? Or Justin, is this the, whatever it is. A lot of the times it should be so clear to you when it happens. And of course, that's just going to become with added experience and added conviction, the more that you see these things happen. But you'll notice the best trades that happen, the best trades that we take on live together and in general, is when it is clear. There's no second guessing whether it is or it isn't. It's just there. The market is telling you exactly what you need to see. That's why I'm saying this whole time that we will be in this range, it will not be like that. It's not just going to be, oh my God, this is so clear. I need to take a short or I need to take a long. Because on a bigger time frame, this is the accumulation before the manipulation, before the distribution. We don't want to trade in an accumulative market, right? We want to trade the manipulation. We want to trade it when we're in a distributive market because that's when we're going to get the most efficient price action, the best setups, and it's not just going to lollygag, tease liquidity. We don't want to trade here. We want to wait. Here is when we trade low size, right? When we talk about being able to figure out when and when not to be aggressive, recognize where we are in the market, right? Where are we on a bigger time frame? We're in an accumulative market right here. So I want this to become power of three, which is accumulation, this whole thing, accumulation, and I want to see manipulation to the downside before then going back higher to the external draw, which has not been taken yet, which is the recent high on the monthly. Make sense? In a bearish market, if both ES and NQ have just took out buy-side liquidity and tapped into a fair value gap, but ES retraced it to equilibrium and NQ didn't, would you still be bullish until we retrace to equilibrium, or would you be bearish? So if both ES and NQ have took out buy-side, tapped into a fair value gap, but ES retraced to equilibrium, NQ didn't, still be... If we took out buy-side and retrace equilibrium of the range, then that means that we're displacing back lower. So again, it depends, because if we took out buy side, I need to know, is there still a bigger time frame draw? It depends on what time frame you're looking at, because if there's still a bigger time frame draw, then when we come up to take internal buy side, we can go back to equilibrium, bounce from there, and then go higher. But if the external draw is lower, if we take buy side, then I'm expecting us to sell back off into the range and then form a market maker sell model to go lower because the external draw is lower. Does that make sense? What do you say your main cause of having losing streaks? Is it strategy or human error? Failing to recognize market conditions. Took this trade on Thursday, was very confident in it. What do you think? Let's take a look. Yes, this looks great, bro. This looks good. Failed to break higher. So this was failed market structure shift, bigger time frame imbalance. Came up, took the high, displaced lower, imbalance. Yep, looks good. This looks good. Holy, okay, my main trades this week. Took some other scalps, but these were my main trades, up 9% on my funded eval, from -8 to 1%, up 30% on my demo this week. The 20RR short was called out on Trading Chat. The trades were taken using the kill zone model, which is an entry after the invalidation of an opposing PD array of the retracement leg. So on a sell model, buy side taken, market structure shift, fair value gap form, my entry will be after we have visited the premium fair value gap and we have invalidated a 1 minute, 15-minute BISI, whatever is formed. My stop will be at the high that touched the fair value gap. I will target opposing liquidity. This model is something that I have made. I haven't seen someone else teach it. Offers great RR and has been killing in the past 3 months. When you truly think of it, it makes sense why it works. If we invalidate a BISI of the retracement leg, the BISI we invalidate it is the last line of defense for longs. If we break for no reason to keep going higher, this model has saved me from 1,000 losses because we have seen fair value gaps and being respected or being immediately respected. I recommend all you guys start using it. I want to see. I'm trying to figure out exactly how you're explaining this. Because these trades are just regular trades, like models that I would be taking. Because again, it's just using the draw. So I'm trying to figure out what you mean by. It's just being what's being respected, what's being disrespected, and then trading the opposing liquidity pool. Yes or no? Right now, calling top on gold would be foolish, right? Because of everything going on. Yes, guys, dude, don't trade. Gold is... We actually talked about gold. Gold, the weekly draw was that fair value gap, and we actually just ran through it. So I was calling bullish gold way, way down here, and we are all the way ready to skyrocket higher. Yeah, gold is super bullish right now. Super bullish. Gold looks like we want to go to all-time highs. Again, all of this low resistance liquidity is here as well. All of these stacked highs. I expect it just to break out. Yeah, gold has a lot of room. Rejection off 15-minute SIBI, clear sell set objective. Took initial 15-second scalp to recent low, anticipating for it to be a higher time frame market structure shift. Then once seen, we did have that market structure shift. I entered another short off the unicorn model on the 2-minute, have ES side by side because I was rejecting bearish PD arrays precisely, which gave me more conviction on lower price. Yep, same trade. This looks great, brother. Yep, added to this too. Took the initial short, got displacement, took more on that imbalance. Looks great, bro. Great trade. How many touch will you say the PD array is invalidated? It doesn't matter how many times we touch it. It matters until we break through it. So we can touch it as many times as we want. If we keep holding it, we keep holding it. Hence asking weekly volume and bounce daily, Thursday, Friday, bounce closing. Yeah. I think hopefully that answered your question. First image is 4 minutes, second 1 hour. Is this valid 2022 model? For me, no. And the only reason I say so is because I don't think this is enough structure. On a smaller time frame, this might be, but looking at this, this is internal. Okay, the only reason I say no is because it's straight up, straight down move. A smaller time frame, yes. If you go down to like a 15 second or a 1 minute, then you'll probably see that come up higher, displace, and then the first imbalance is getting rejected, and then you took the 4 minute. But from this chart, no, I wouldn't say so. This looks great as well. Lower draw, equal lows, bigger time frame imbalance getting rejected, stop rate at the high, displacement lower, took a short, targeting equal lows, great. Perfect model. Exactly what we want to see. What's a SIBI? Sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. What I do wrong? Stop entering fair value gap, wait for the confirmation, stop trading London, stop trading London. Scale in on points. Okay, so what was the trade here? Equal highs came down. Did you immediately take a long after this? I bet you from here we bounced higher, but not from here. Why? Because once this market structure shift happens, for me to take a trade, this imbalance either has to hold or I wait for whatever the imbalance is. So we come back to equilibrium. If there's a 15-minute BPR here, this is where I'm looking to scale, or I'm looking to scale into a contract. Right here, when we're at equilibrium of the range, there's a possibility that we come stop hunt this and then go higher. But notice, that's not how I trade. If we come back down here, I need to see this get bought back up for me to enter, especially see this imbalance get ran through. So I think just too early. You didn't see what you needed to see on that to validate your bias. Thoughts on this? I didn't know where to set up my take profits. This isn't too bad. Yeah, your TP is fine here because, again, bigger time frame imbalance. Back inside of this range, and it's whatever the first imbalance is. So it looks fine. How do you prioritize fair value gaps, PD arrays, when there are lots occurring on the chart? Secondly, if there are lots on the chart and both bullish and bearish fair value gaps are getting respected, disrespected, creating confusion, do we treat it as a shitty PA and stand back? Yes. If both bearish and bullish are getting respected or disrespected, if just it doesn't even look like fair value gaps are even doing anything in the market, it is low conditions. It's not an efficient market. They are not respecting what they should be respecting. It's just simple. You just don't trade it. To answer the first question, how do you know which ones and which not? It all has to do with context. It all has to do with structure. Like, for example, right now, I don't care about a lot of these imbalances here, because number one, it doesn't have any relationship to what we're doing right now. A lot of the times I like to mark things of what would make sense. The reason I have this imbalance marked here is because this is the first imbalance that's after these equal highs. So what's most likely would happen is if we were to come up to take these highs, this is a very high likely area that we would reject. Why? Because it's an area after taking liquidity. Does that make sense? It all has to do with context in the chart. And that just comes with experience. It just comes with experience. You'll be able to mark the things that are important. I know you've said it multiple times, but can you explain pyramiding once more? Pyramiding is an idea to scale into a position. So I'm constantly adding. So what I do is if I have a trade idea, right? Let's say I'm looking at, let's say this is a 1 minute time frame and I want to take a short. What I'm going to do is I'll trade the draw. Let's say I think the draw is lower. I'll enter short half size. So I'll enter in half size here. Set my stop somewhere here, right? And then I'll target, whatever the low is. What I do from here is my initial risk from this, since I'm in half my contract size, is very low, right? And sometimes it's even like 25% of my position size. Sometimes it's even less than half. So if I do end up getting stopped, I'm getting stopped on a very small amount. So what I'll do is I'll initially take what is given to me, the entry that you should take, what the model is. And then from there is when I zoom in. So like, let's say I'm on a 15-minute or whatever, I'll go down to a smaller time frame. And then once I see more confirmation, which would be like, for example, boom, we sell back off into this range. Boom, here is when I'll add the rest of my position. So what I do is I'll add the rest of my position here. So now my fill gets moved to around half of whatever that is. So now my fill is just a little bit lower than what it was before, but I'm in full contract size. But now I have more conviction for this setup. Why? Because more data has given and there's been more structure to validate that bias. So from here, I then move my stop from whatever it was recently to whatever the high is, because now I've seen displacement lower. We shouldn't go back to this high. So even if we do go back to this high, I'm still getting stopped out on a very small amount because I added and I waited to add. If I didn't, then what happens is here. Let's look at the reason. I'll show you the numbers because it's easier to understand. I take a short here, 3 contracts. My stop loss, 4,000, just for this trade, right? Not normally, but just for this idea. 4,500 or 4,500 around, okay, is my stop loss for this trade. If I get stopped on my 3 contracts, I'm losing 4K. Once we get displacement lower, I then add, so right here. So then my fill gets split to most likely half of this because I'm adding another 3 contracts. So now I'm in 6 contracts, and I move my stop to that high. I am now risking the exact same amount, 4,500, than I am, wait, hold on, let me do it here. Let me make sure I did it right. Yeah, 4,470, literally the exact same amount. I'm risking the exact same amount, but guess what? If I was to enter 3 contracts here, my risk, 4,470, my TP, 11K. But when I wait to add my full position, my risk is now the exact same, but guess how much when I make? 21,000, almost double, just from pyramiding. Does that make sense? So that's how the best way to manage risk. When you see me take losses, it's always minimal because I'm constantly looking for opportunity to scale. When there's no opportunity, I don't enter full size. That's why this entire time that we've been in this range, I have almost not scaled, and maybe there's been a couple times that I've actually scaled constantly. But what happens is if I'm super confident in this trade as well, I'll add here. We get more displacement. Come up, a stop rate, displacement. I'll add another contract, continue to move my stop. And by the time we get to sell side, I'm now making like 10x of what I would normally be winning, right? And I'm risking the same amount. I was afraid to take a short on the Thursday since we already dropped a lot. Is it because I failed to find where the drawn liquidity is? It's because we're in an accumulation. When looking on my journal, it's so easy to spot my previous mistakes. That shows how much I'm learning from you. Thank you, Justin. Much love, brother. Again, I'm glad you're journaling. Highly, highly recommend. Everybody should be journaling. Can you review? Let's take a look. I love this, brother. It looks great. So good. Chart's looking clean. Drawing's looking... Got your day plan. Your check mark. Dude, emotions. This looks amazing, brother. This is... I would give you an A+ on this if this was your homework. Fuck. This is... Everybody should be doing this. 2 trades. This looks good. Waited for sell side to get taken. Bigger time from imbalance. Displacement up. Enter long. Targeting recent buy side. Targeting the internal draw. Looks great. Really clear. I would get overwhelmed marking out every damn PD array to get analysis paralysis. Cheers, brother. Much love. There has been times we go back to the highs. So what happens if we get stopped and still have conviction? Good question. If we come back here and I get stopped out and then we completely sell back off in the range, guess what? It's more probable now for me to take a short than it would be the recent. Why? Because we've now had a stop rate. So of course I'm going to enter back in. So if I enter here, we come down, I get stopped at this high, but we then take this high, fail, sell all the way back off in this range. I'm now even more have even more conviction to enter back in this trade. Hope it's more clear now. Okay. Yeah, this is just pretty much it's just a different way of looking at it, because this is exactly what how I trade. But I'm expecting the BISI to already get ran through. What I'm looking for is displacement, which is it's the same thing. When we get displacement lower, the BISI is getting ran through, and we're creating a new SIBI to go lower. It's just a different way of looking at it. Yeah, saves you from this, but guess what also saves you from this? There was no displacement down out of this range. That's what I'm looking for, is displacement. When we come back down here, again, I don't automatically take a short here. I wait for the market to sell back off and displace, and then I look to take the trade. So it's, yes, pretty much the same thing, just a different way of looking at it. Beautiful, brother. This looks great. This first trade is great. These looks great. Yeah, these look awesome, brother. Do you always wait for MSB from displacement and wait for retracement before entering? When do you just enter without waiting for MSB? What is MSB? Market structure break? Marks. Okay, gotcha. Most of the time, yes. Most of the time, yes. All right, so let's look about one last thing. Let's take one last look at news real quick. So Monday, we should be good. We don't really have any high impact news, but since it's NFP, we'll trade. Tuesday's looking good. We have ISM. We got Jolts. Wednesday, NFP. Be very careful trading Wednesday. I'm not even sure if we will or not, but I kind of want to. I'll probably hop on. Thursday, unemployment claims. Friday, we have non-farm as well, unemployment rate. We're looking good this week. I'm actually excited to see what happens, and we have consumer sentiment as well. So we should get some volatility this week again if we can get out of this range. First charting session in Paris was fire. Much love. All right, guys. Any last questions that you guys got for me? Why are you so handsome? I couldn't tell you. Ask my mom. Enjoy yourself in Paris. Much love. We're gonna go. I'll post the recording, and then me and Max are gonna go get some dinner, have some wine, and hit the sheets. When's the next vlog? Probably. We're gonna film tomorrow. We're gonna go to the Louvre tomorrow. We'll film. It depends how much footage we get tomorrow. Yeah, I would say. Well, our goal is to have a vlog every 2 days, every other 2 days. Much love, guys. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night. I will see you all tomorrow. Get some rest. Or actually, it's fucking, most of you guys, it's the morning for you still, so enjoy your day. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.